Ciao a tutti, io sono Andre e benvenuti a Troppo Sensibile. Hello and welcome back. Today we're here with the one and only Vanessa Soumayina. I'm nervous because I've never talked to you in person. So it's not in person, but it's in person. It's one-on-one. First of all, I usually let my guests introduce themselves if they want to. So if you want to introduce yourself, I can do it, but I'm sure you can do it much better than me.
Actually, I would love for you to introduce me, Andre, because I am so excited to be on your podcast and I always introduce myself on my YouTube. So I would love if you take over the role if you don't mind.
Thank you, thank you. Now I'm on the spot, so I'm nervous, like 1,000 times more. Okay, let me drink some water.
Yes, hydrate. You must.
Do you have your tea with you?
Actually, I do, Andre, and I did not
Yeah.
mean to put you on the spot. Um, so
Don't worry. So, today we are here with Vanessa Soumayina. For those who don't know her, she's an entrepreneur. She's the tarot queen, because if you haven't seen her videos, she's the most amazing, the most accurate, the most beautiful tarot reader I've ever seen on the internet. And I've seen a lot, but you literally stand out. You stand out. And I've been following her since 2020, so 5 years ago, yeah. And I'm excited to have her here because she's a psychic. She's the psychic CEO, I must say. She has a lot of workshops, a lot of videos that you can go watch and you can sign up for, and you should definitely do. I am signed up for a lot of stuff, so you should too. And today, this is my first episode in English for the podcast, and I'm very excited to have her here because she's the guest that I wanted to start the English sessions with. So thank you for being here, Vanessa.
thank you so much, Andre. That was such a beautiful introduction, and I feel honored to be your first guest in English. And I can't wait for us to kick off this part of your English speaking journey as well. So thank you. I feel honored.
Thank you. So we've discussed via DMs which topics we should talk about today. And as you already know, but maybe our listeners don't, my podcast, it's called Troppo Sensibile in Italian because I'm Italian. And in English, it means too sensitive. So a little story time here. Since when I was little, people always told me that I was too sensitive because I am. And I actually am glad that I am. And they've always told me that, not in a good sense, you know, because we live in a society that doesn't appreciate sensitivity, as maybe we do, and a lot of people that listen to us too. But yeah, so it was a negative sense attached to it. And I wanted to reclaim that sensitivity they talked about. So I called my podcast Too Sensitive in Italian. And I would like to talk with you today about sensitivity and how it has impacted you in your personal and business venture up until now. So, first of all, do you believe yourself to be a sensitive person?
I believe myself to be a sensitive person, yes.
And how has sensitivity up until now shaped your path to your success? Because you're a very successful businesswoman. You identify as a woman. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So how has your sensitivity shaped your path up until now? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I would love to. I think I had a very similar upbringing and relation to sensitivity like you have, Andre, in the sense of people saying, oh, you're too sensitive, you are reading too much into this, or just even the statement, you're too sensitive, like you said, in a negative sense. And it makes you kind of go into your shell a little bit and question yourself, asking yourself, oh, am I really too sensitive? Should I just move on with this? But something doesn't feel right when you do that. So it's like you're in this difficult place, because on one hand everyone is telling you you're too sensitive, but then on the other hand you know something just doesn't feel right if you just gloss over things because it's not who you are, right? So I've definitely had the same experience as you have. And then when I discovered tarot and crystals and the whole like healing and wellness space, I think what that did, and I didn't even realize this until, I was thinking about the topic of sensitivity preparing for your podcast, because I love the name of your podcast in Italian. I love what it's all about. It's so unique, and I think it's something that all of us people who are very empathetic and sensitive can relate to. And tarot and the whole space of this gave me almost like a home where I could be myself, where I could be sensitive, and not only is it seen as a good thing, but it's actually something that I can do for other people, show them like the sensitivity, it is valuable, and it can actually bring you support and healing. It doesn't have to be something that makes your life difficult. It doesn't have to be like this challenge to overcome. You can actually work with it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think you said it so well. I had this feeling that we had some kind of like upbringing, because I've seen in you this light. First of all, I would like to tell you that you have been a very important part in my becoming vegan. Yeah.
Wow. Unexpected. Wow.
Yeah, because when I first started watching your videos in 2020, I was a vegetarian, but I still had like my fears to become vegan. I didn't know if I was able to do that. And your sensitivity in the way you talked about it, the way you express yourself in your videos made me think, she's great. Maybe I can do that too, because you radiate light, so much love. I don't know how to tell you, but thank you for being who you are. And I'm very happy that you had to go through everything you had to go through to become this version of yourself, because maybe it was painful, but you're one of the most amazing persons I know on the internet. Yeah.
I love that, like sharing that, and that, I was able to inspire that and help you on that journey. Thank you. And I'm really proud of you for doing your own way, but
Thank you.
please carry on.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, because you've actually made me realize, how about we like switch it up, and why do people use sensitivity as something negative? How about maybe the society we live in is not that sensitive and it should be? What can you tell me about it? What's your take on it?
Yeah, and I really feel like it is used to keep people in a box. I really love how you're switching this around, because let's be honest, everything stems from this place of imagination. Everything in the world, the chair that we're sitting on, the clothes that we're wearing, it was first someone's imagination. And that someone had to make it a reality. That someone had to believe that it could be created and then move forward creating it without knowing whether it would actually be successful. And I think when you're very sensitive, then you're very connected to your imagination, and that makes you extremely powerful. And I think in so many ways we are trained and brought up to not be powerful, to not only forget our power, but to unlearn it, because society up until this point perhaps would have been very different if we didn't train kids and people from an early age to kind of do what they're supposed to. So, do a traditional education, get a traditional job, be part of the workforce, so that we could build the world the way that it is today, because, we need all of that manpower and so on. But now I think moving forward, a lot of people are realizing like, hey, I can really work with my talents. I can really make something out of this. And I might be sensitive, but at the same time, it's also showing me a lot of paths and ways in which I maybe don't have to do that traditional route, and I can actually be myself.
That's actually so true, because in the past 4 years, I've been on this path of uncovering my sensitivity, because I wasn't this sensitive like in 2020. I was, but I didn't allow myself to be. That's the way to put it. And maybe if more people understood that sensitivity is something that gives you power, not it doesn't take it away from you. It gives you power, and you can give power to other people too. That's what you do, and that's actually what I love to do. I'm now doing this podcast, but I would love to do so much more like you do, because you empower people. Even with the desert retreat, the desert, I don't remember the name well right now.
Yeah, Desert Goddess Wealth Circle Retreat. It's very long.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's long, but it's beautiful. And even with that, you empower people to have their own strength and to give it to other people. And I identify as a man. I'm not a woman. Would you like to share how your experience as a woman, as a businesswoman, was up until now in the business industry? Because I don't know anything about it. If you would like to tell us even the sensitivity you had to work with to be in that position you are now.
Yeah, I love that question because it's always, of course, a different dynamic. Because even if you were to say, for example, okay, I identify as someone else, you know, in many rooms you would walk into, people would just say, okay, he's a man, and
Yeah.
kind of put you in that box and then also treat you accordingly. Because, like you said, sensitivity is something that some people have, but I think also a lot of society maybe is still working on or might never have. And I think it's really important as a sensitive person to be aware of the fact, like, you can make this your superpower when you learn to control you. Because the people who are not sensitive, where you learn to actually be in the position of power, is when you learn to control yourself in situations in which they don't know themselves well enough and they cannot control themselves. So when you can control yourself walking into a room as a woman, so coming to answering your question, and you are perhaps dealing with people who might, you know, already kind of judge you or already have a type of image that they feel you should fit into, and they talk to you differently, when you can already be aware of the fact that chances are high this will happen, you can already emotionally control yourself and know, okay, this is this type of person. They're probably not very sensitive when it comes to gender, when it comes to, you know, just people identifying, for example, as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, even though they're a young woman of color. So they're going to treat you differently than if you're like an older white male, just for example. It's just two different worlds, but you can learn to work with that, I feel like. And of course, I have had situations in which I felt, oh, you know, was I treated differently because I'm a young woman, or I'm a young woman of color, or I'm a young woman who looks, you know, however I look, and everyone's look gives them a judgment. But let's also be real here. Whenever there is a situation in which you feel like you might be treated unfairly, when dealt with correctly or going to a different crowd, that might actually give you an advantage. So I always like to tell people, go where you're loved, go where it gives you an advantage. Don't try to convince people who are already committed to misunderstanding you or placing you in a box that will affect you negatively. Don't deal with that. The world is so abundant. You have so many spaces in which you will be loved and people will uplift you. That's how I feel about that.
Wow. Wow. I loved everything you said, because of course I cannot understand on a deep level what you and so many other women had to go through. I have a sister. She has a daughter now, so I have a niece. My mom, my sister have always been an important part in my upbringing. I've always loved strong, even if they were not strong in a common sense, strong women. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was my favorite TV show, so I grew up with strong women that didn't shy away from showing their emotions, and that's what you do, and that's what you just did here. So thank you for sharing that. And okay, now I'm kind of nervous.
And I just also want to remind you, I'm here because I want you to win as well. I'm here because I want to support you. I love what you're doing, and I want you to fully feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, it's just numbers and a mechanism that I repeated over and over again that's gotten me where I am today. I'm no different than you. I just for a longer time uploaded my videos, worked on my craft, and you're doing the same. So I want to support you in that. And I understand like the nervosity, but I also, as much as I can, I just want you to know, like, we are the same. I was once in your position. I'm just here because I want you to win. Take your time, relax, feel into the space, because, just being these sensitive beings, we need to like support each other in that way.
I have my stones here, like crystal quartz. I have all the stones there.
I see
I don't know
that.
if you can. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've talked. You didn't talk. You suggested in many videos of yours your experience as a woman of color in your upbringing. You talked about it. So did you think, because you told me before that maybe, and I love it because you shouldn't go look for the places you're not loved. Did you think your sensitivity played an important role in bringing you where you are now? When I'm nervous, I start to stutter. So yeah, I'm stuttering right now.
I mean, it's incredible that this isn't your first language and you are out here doing a podcast in English, even though your first language is Italian. So can we just
Thank you.
give a little moment of like a round of recognition for that? And you are slaying it. So coming to your question, for sure, I think that played a huge role in it, in the sense of, I think before, because also just growing up or as a kid, for me personally, I didn't have just this huge confidence. I didn't just have this feeling. I mean, I did until I didn't, right? Until the world kind of beats you down a
Yeah.
little, if you will. And then when people start to, treat you in a way how they're saying, oh, you're so sensitive, and then perhaps that's combined with living in a society that is not sensitive to racial issues, or just really minimizes it and tries to pretend like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal or it doesn't exist. And for me, living in Zurich, in Switzerland, that has been the case. And it has definitely, it made me feel as though maybe I am too sensitive, but a part of me just also always knew that they didn't understand what it was like. And I think I just got to the point where growing in confidence, getting kind of older, understanding my rights, what is right and what isn't. Also just looking at people who don't lack that confidence, who just have like unfounded confidence. You know, those people who for no reason they're so confident and you're like, where is this coming from? Like literally.
Yeah.
And I just actually, rather than looking at it as a negative thing, I took inspiration from it. And I was like, I have all of these things to back up why I would be confident. And look at these people who have nothing to back it up. And they're just really, really confident beyond like measure. Like, why would I not be at least as confident as that type of person? And why would I not stand up for myself and also know my rights? And I know this sounds maybe it's not very sexy, but just the topic of actually knowing your rights, I think that's a big one, especially if you're a woman, a person of color, if you are like LGBTQ plus, actually knowing your rights like legally, spending a little bit of time, whether you're dealing with someone at your work that's giving you issues, whether it's something with where you live, whether it's something that you're just dealing with your accounting, just all of these personal things that can sometimes get a little challenging and ugly, actually knowing your rights and then standing on those, because otherwise people will try to see how far they can go. And if they can tell that you don't know your actual rights, like they will often use that to make you insecure and to intimidate you even more.
I wanted to know your take on that because I know, and I know you got a lot other things you could say about this. Okay, I didn't see you for a second. Okay, here you are. So thank you. And what you said about the legal rights, first of all, I think that's sexy because I think that People that know their rights are sexier because they know you cannot disrespect them. They know you cannot. So yeah, they're sexier. And you included the LGBTQAI plus community. I'm part of it. And I will tell you, you're in Switzerland, I'm in Italy. I don't know if it's any different, but I think it is, because in Italy, we perhaps have a culture of minimizing things and just laughing it off, even if it's serious. Right now, we're in a really bad place politically. I don't want to talk politics, but we're in a bad place. And so, yeah, I think everybody should know their rights. And I'm literally hoping things will turn out for the best. One thing I've got from you is to always look the bright way, always look to the light, because that's where I want to be. I don't want to be in the dark. Even if my shadow self, my darkness helps me, I want to be the light and be in the light. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So if I may add 2 points to
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Of
don't mind.
course, of course.
So firstly, thank you for the clarification. So it's LGBTQLAI.
QIA plus.
You're getting
Yeah,
me up
right.
to date on this because, to be very honest with you, I always try to reiterate that. And that's perhaps where I can also grow in sensitivity or learn, because sometimes I'm a little behind on that as well because the space changes, right? And I think giving someone the feeling, and that's what I usually just do. I just say, like, everyone's welcome. It's, all my beautiful ladies, jelly beans, gentlemen, everyone in between. So it's
Yes,
just,
yes, yes, yes.
it's covered. And I think if everyone were to just do that, I think even with these labels or with these descriptions, there would be no issue because it's just clear, okay, we're all included, we're all welcome. And I definitely just also love your mindset of wanting to focus on the light, because that doesn't mean that you're saying the dark doesn't exist, but it's just, why would I give that so much power? Why would I put my
Yeah.
focus on that? And I love what you're doing with your platform, because I think, like you said, in Italy, I'm not someone who has ever lived in Italy, but living in Switzerland and having visited Italy many times, it's such a beautiful country. The people, the food, the atmosphere, the vibes, the fashion. People are very hot in Italy. I have to say that. People are
Shut
so,
up.
yeah, it's true.
I'm
Um,
blushing. I'm blushing.
it's true. We have a lot of very, beautiful humans inside and out. And I think what you're doing is going to be such a monumental kind of wave for the younger generation who really gets it. Like, you have everything going for you there. And if you can just kind of unify a little more, if you can just kind of allow for everyone to feel comfortable, because of course there's a lot of big toxic masculinity there, but at the same time there's, yeah, also a lot of people who are now understanding not everyone is like that or wants to live like that. So I think if everyone can feel comfortable with each other rather than trying to diminish each other, I mean, I think sky is really the limit there. And you are such an important, integral part of shaping the next generation. And I just want you to know this is amazing work that you're doing. And it is definitely something that is so needed and so on point right now. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for the hot part, and thank you for everything you said. Did you always talk to people like this, like make compliments, being the the honest, like I want to help you grow person? Have you always been like this?
I think on the inside, I was always like that, but I didn't know how to vocalize it. I didn't know how to do it. I felt kind of awkward. I think also because growing up, when you don't have a lot of friends, you don't have a lot of like training on how to behave socially. I noticed even, for example, like I have some friends who are very like touchy, so physical touch is their
Mm.
love language, and that's something that is so natural for them. And I notice for me, to this day, either it's just not my love language or I haven't learned it yet. I don't yet know which one that it is, but I always have like a little bit more thought goes into these things because I think I learned it a little later in life. But through just continuing to solidify that my journey and my path is to uplift people, I think I've just made it an important part of my learning to figure out how can I make people feel comfortable? How can I show people that they are amazing and there's so many little parts that they've perhaps overlooked about themselves and how amazing that they are, and get them to focus on that so that they can see like, oh, you know what, I do have so many things that are amazing about me, but still being honest. And that's one thing I've always been very honest. And I think I've always been someone who would rather say something kind than say like, I truly live by, if you don't have something kind to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too, because being the mean person is always, it's not easier, but it is easier because maybe people that have their own power, they shine. You, I too had felt like I was jealous of what they had, and I wasn't always the best person I could be. And that's where you too have helped me to become the best version of myself, where I say something good. When I see something beautiful, I say it. I don't keep it to myself. I say it because I know it can help people feel better about themselves. And I actually feel better about them too, and about me. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a Cancer, right?
Yes.
So I'm a Scorpio, and maybe your love language could be being so intimate with a person, having the freedom of being sensitive, too sensitive. The sensitivier you could be, the sensitiviest you could be. Maybe that's your love language. I don't know if that is, but I know many Cancerian people. So I know that water signs, you know that too, obviously. The emotions, we have to have someone like my boyfriend is. He lets me be me. He just gets me. He's open, he's kind, and he doesn't judge. That's what I love about him. Maybe that's your love language too.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm so happy for you that you found someone
Thank you.
where you feel so comfortable. Because I think a lot of people kind of, when they're in love with someone, they overlook, like, okay, but am I comfortable around this person even? So I love that you have that. And I agree with you. I think for me, we're filming this just before Valentine's Day, and then 2 days later, yeah, on Sunday, on the 16th, I'm actually throwing a Galentine's Day party because that's
Ooh.
my love language. Yeah, so I've ordered a cake. I've got so much food and drinks, and I got gifts for like every single girl that's coming because I also love to give gifts. And
Me too.
yeah, and cards that I'm gonna write. So I am so excited to pour into that because for sure that's my love language as a very sensitive person. I like to show people how much thought goes into my connection with them. And like you said, it's when you start to notice nice things and you focus on it and you say it out loud, I think at the beginning it can feel a little weird because our
Yeah.
society, yeah, it's so wired to like, if you're in a good mood for no reason, people look at you like you're strange. But if you're in a bad mood for no reason, it's like, oh yeah, it's just another day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely an adjustment. But I think once you're just in that energy and vibe and you just do you and you feel comfortable in yourself, I think everyone else just kind of notices it and doesn't question it. I think it only gets awkward when you still think it's awkward yourself. Again, it comes back to the confidence thing. Like when you just do your thing, like it's nobody's business, I feel like it just all works out seamlessly.
Yeah, and I see you're on your confidence journey because you posted like these videos about confidence for people, and I love them. I love them. You help me in with all your videos to build my confidence. You're doing it right now because you saw that I was nervous and like said little things just to make me feel comfortable. So thank you. And by the way, I wanted to show you this I have here. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Look. Oh my God, you have the Wild Muse Oracle.
of course I do. Of course.
Ah.
Yeah. I want to buy everything. I will buy everything.
I was just going to say at the moment, because I have restructured the business to suit me and what I want to do and what I want to provide. Right now, most of the decks are only available in the US on Amazon because I'm still
Oh yeah.
starting the Europe, but do send me your address after our session so I can send you a few things.
No, no, no. You don't have to. And
But I want to.
little, thank you.
I want to.
Little parenthesis here. I want to send you something too, because you did this, the my gratitude and mindfulness journey journal. I love this. Of course,
Aw.
I mean the details, the golden edges, everything in it was perfect. Is perfect. I'm still using it. I don't use it every day because I want to like keep it for as long as I can. But
Aw.
yeah, I use it. I use it a lot. And I've actually done like published my own journal like some days ago, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, I don't remember. This is in
Oh,
Italian. This is in Italian. It's called 90 Days of Emotional Sensitivity Journal in the English version. And I would love to send you a copy if you allow me.
oh my God, that's so exciting and congratulations. I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
for you. That's such a huge step. I'm so proud of your success. That's amazing. Like actually
Thank you.
finishing it and you have it physically there in your hands. That's huge. That's amazing. Like I would be honored to receive one. And like I cannot wait for us to swap care packages. This is just, I can't wait to receive it.
Uh,
Use it. Thank you.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Really. I don't know what to say. I didn't expect you to like say that, but thank you. And it's actually great having it in my hands because you create something from your mind, from your heart, and then you have it there. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think it's so huge because, you know, you holding it in your hand, it went from idea to actual manifested product. And I think unless you've actually done it, people don't understand what a big deal it is, how much
Yeah.
self-belief, time, energy, effort, and all of the little blockages that come up along the way. Because one thing that I've realized in the past couple years, all of these projects, these like business entrepreneurial things, it's not that the thing itself is hard. It's just being consistent, showing up, solving like whenever these little problems come up, solving it, then going to the next level, then there's again a problem, then there's again an issue, and just like continuing to solve it. It's not like it's rocket science, but like the dedication it takes. And I think unless you've been there, it's hard to understand. And just coming back also to the subject of sensitivity, I think the more you do these things and you come in touch and in contact with other people who perhaps are working in a similar field as you, I think they react very differently. Like even just how you said like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to react that way." For me, it goes like without say, you know? And I notice also my friends who perhaps aren't as connected to their creative sides, um, they don't have the same enthusiasm as someone who does these things and is creatively involved and has taken a risk to be entrepreneurial. So I totally understand the journey and it's amazing. This is like just the beginning of something really big for you and I'm just so excited. And it's I cannot believe like I have viewers, subscribers, like online friends, like online brothers like you who like you've taken inspiration from me in some
A
small
lot.
And I appreciate it. And look what you've done. How beautiful is that? And look how you will inspire the next person and what they will create out of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I was watching this video yesterday, and there was this girl that talked about being in your celebrity mindset, something like that. And she said that a celebrity like Miley Cyrus, she met Miley Cyrus, and she said that it wasn't the way she carried herself, even that, but it wasn't that. It was how she made her feel, because she like got into the an elevator, and Miley got in, and she was in the elevator, and she said, "Oh, hey, there you are." Like she remembered her, and she said, like, "How are you? How have you been?" I don't remember, but the thing is, that's what you're doing, and you're in your best celebrity like mindset, energy. You're, because you make people feel good, you make me feel good, and I want to say that everything you do online has helped me, and I know millions of people, because you actually do that, and everything you had to go through, just know that it was worth it, because it's not the end, it's just the beginning, but it's amazing, and it's inspiring.
Same with you, honestly. I'm very inspired by how you've already done season 1 of your podcast. Now we're on to season 2, and I can't
Yeah.
wait for where this is going to take you. And the topic of sensitivity, I think, is so important and needs to be discussed more because, like you said, it's something that's always swept under the rug, and people just kind of, when they want to end a conversation that makes them uncomfortable, they just say, "You're too sensitive." So it's not actually you, it's them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that toxicity, I know, sadly, I know that. But I know toxicity, and I've been in toxicity for so long that I didn't recognize the the truth in the sensitivity in other people.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about me now, because I would now say to those people, like, thank you for being who you were then, because you made me uncomfortable, but now I love you. Now I appreciate what you did, what you said, whatever you did. I was looking at the questions. There are a lot of questions. I like this one, and I know you will love it too. So can you tell us about how you and what you would suggest people how to create healthy boundaries with other people that maybe don't know how to respect our sensitivity?
I love that because I've also been in that situation. And I think, especially when you're outside of the norm and like with family, I think it already begins there. And that's often a really big one, right? I think a big part of that is learning to, first of all, and this is the challenging thing about being sensitive, it's like so much of the work is on you. You do a lot of the emotional labor for everybody else. It's like the unpaid labor you need to do to navigate with them. So, but once you learn it, like you said, it becomes a superpower if you keep using it. I would say first, kind of unlearning to get triggered, because once you get triggered and people know how to trigger you, I'm sure you know that feeling. You
Yeah.
get so upset and worked up and you try to justify or explain, and then you just won't reach anything positive because you are upset, you're triggered, you are behaving like irrationally in that situation. And also, people, as soon as they see you're triggered, it's like, quote unquote, they've won. Not that it's like a, winning and losing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you
Yeah, I do.
understand what I mean, yeah. And the whole audience will understand. So I think first, unlearning to allow anyone to get you to that state, because while it's not fair to put all the responsibility on ourselves, we do live in a world in which if we don't, then, nobody will help you basically. So you have to first learn to help yourself, I would say, and detach from reacting. So unlearning reactivity and understanding that what someone else has to say about you, that is their opinion. and it's not your job to change it, nor does that have to be anywhere close to the truth. And then I would say what I have really been focusing on in the last years, and this has tremendously improved every relationship in my life, is to ask yourself, what is the goal of this relationship? And I would say this has really tremendously improved relationships with people like, for example, my mom, who I've always been really close to. But because obviously like the gap of different generations, and also like I'm half Swiss and half Nigerian, she's Nigerian, my dad is Swiss. So culturally, I kind of have like a mix of both. I'm very much, raised in a more European kind of place. So we could clash there often. And then I would always ask myself, okay, what is the goal here? My goal is to preserve the relationship, to make the relationship healthy, and to show her my viewpoint. So if that's the goal, like just shunning her, telling her, oh, you're wrong about this, or I feel like this, or like in 2025, we don't behave this way, or whatever, that's not going to accomplish the goal. So I think looking at who you're working with and asking yourself, what is the goal? And then talking to them in a way that they understand and that allows them to see your viewpoint without them feeling like you are negating what they're saying. Because at the end of the day, everyone just wants to feel heard. I would say that is probably how to best like navigate these situations. But again, it's a lot of learning, a lot of practice, a lot of work, and it can feel tiring at times because it feels like all of it is on you to try to like, okay, how do I word this? How do I take into account their viewpoint? And how do I say this in a way that, it doesn't turn into an argument or a discussion, or they don't just shut off and just say, I'm too sensitive. It is a lot of work.
Yes, 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 yes. Everything you said, yes. Thank you for sharing your experience with your mom, because it's personal, so thank you. And yes, actually, yes, you're, I don't know if you already done it, but you should write a book, like a lot of books. I don't want you to tell anything because I saw the little smirk there, but you should write something that with your thoughts, because everything you say it so well, and it's deep. It helps me. And to close it off, to close our episode today, I usually ask my guests to give some advice to the people that are listening. But today, since you already said a lot of advices, I would like to ask you, what would you say to your younger self? What advice would you give her?
I would love, if I may, to like pull a tarot card on our last question.
Oh, yeah, of course you can, darling.
Amazing. So I got the Pastel Journey deck that we're going to use, which is my favorite, honestly, because it's so sweet.
That was what I was going to buy next, but I saw that it was on Amazon US, right?
Yeah, so that will obviously be one of my little surprises for you.
I swear I wasn't even thinking about that. I just wanted to tell you that was the last thing I searched for on Amazon because I wanted that.
And, I love the fact that you've been watching now for so long, and I love to just come from a place of just sincerely wanting to, say thank you and do something from my heart to support you as well. And please just like accept and don't even feel like I thought you were thinking anything or so. I'm so thankful that you've been here because it's been a journey for me since 2019 as well. And to, still have you here, it means everything. So, yeah.
Thank you. It means everything to me too. And I really wish you the best in everything because you deserve it for everything you do and everything you are.
Aw, I appreciate you. Same with you. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for us, for the podcast, for everything. And now I would like for us to see what our younger selves
Yes.
would need to hear or would have benefited from here. Oh, We have a card that pops.
Oh.
Right.
I love when they do.
Okay. King of Cups and Knight of Cups. I love that
Okay.
because, yeah. The suit of cups is the suit of the element of water, which is the suit of the emotions. And us talking about sensitivity, I love that this has showed up because so the suit of cups is a feminine suit. But in that, we receive the knight and the king, which has traditionally masculine energy. So within the sensitivity and the receiving of all of the female energy, to also not forget being sensitive means we can voice how we feel. It means we can set boundaries. It means we can say, I don't like this. And whether someone thinks that we're sensitive or not, who cares? It is literally not our issue. We set our boundary. We are the ones who are able to say no more because a big part of being sensitive, I think once you've learned that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, you become insanely powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. I love this. I love the message. Of course, they had to pop out the deck as they had to, and I love when they do.
Can we pull one card for the podcast and how it's going to move forward?
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, of course.
I love that. So I will be shuffling, and I would like for you, whenever you feel ready, to just say stop. And then let's see what the future holds for you and the podcast.
Okay, now.
All right. Three of Cups. I love that. Look at how you're bringing people together. Suit of Emotions again. Again, Suit of Cups. I always call this the party card because this is literally the card of connecting with people and connecting people. You are connecting people emotionally, right? Cups, emotions, water. We are water signs. We only received cups. There are 78 cards within a deck. Only
Yeah.
14 are of the Suit of Cups. So us receiving these cups and this being basically what you will do, what this podcast will accomplish is what we spoke about. It's like you creating a space that connects people, that shows people, yeah, you know what, we may live in a society that kind of glosses over a lot of things, but there's also a movement here that understands that that's not okay and that we need a space to be able to talk about it. So I love that this has showed up, and look how you're unifying so many different people from all
Yeah.
backgrounds, from all walks. This is so you. This is so the podcast. Like Troppo Sens. How do I pronounce?
How? Troppo sensibile.
Troppo Sensibile.
Yes, that's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Vanessa Soumayina. You guys, I know everyone that will be watching this video, at least a part of it, will be people that know you. So thank you for staying with us today. I really hope that you use your sensitivity to do something good in yourself, for yourself, and for others, because it's so important, guys. During these hard times, I know it's hard. We can do it. We can do it. We just have to remember that sensitivity is something that gives us strength, gives us light. It's not the opposite, okay? So thank you, Vanessa Soumayina, for coming here with us today. Thank you. I mean, we'll talk right now, but thank you for staying with us. So bye.
Thank you so much, Andre. I appreciate it. And I'll speak to you in an upcoming episode or video. And sending you so much
Yes.
love. And the troppo sensitivo. Wait, did I say it wrong?
Sensitivo means psychic. So you just said it right, but in another way.
Exactly. I'm sending the beautiful community so much love. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.